Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gallus, on this epic quest for health, hope, and happiness as I lose 150 pounds in 12 months on a whole food vegan diet while walking 3,000 miles in 1 year to prove to myself, my family, and everyone watching on YouTube that we can all become the ultra versions of ourselves if we give it a chance and are powered by plants. Now, today I'm introducing a new mini series on cow milk versus plant milk. This has been highly sought after by friends, families, and subscribers to this channel. And over the next few days, we'll be going through in detail the various reasons that humans should not be drinking cow milk. But today, I wanted to share with you purely the nutritional information because, of course, we're fact-based and science-based here. After all, this is the science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery of Vegan Ultra. So I have used Chronometer, specifically the generic versions, whatever possible, that uses the NCCDB or National Consumer Compliant Database, which takes USDA data for nutrition and fills in the gap. It is the gold standard, and I created this spreadsheet, which I have set the share ability on for, and I will put this link in the description so you can get a look at this database. We're looking at whole cow milk, skim milk, which is the most popular form of milk right now, soy milk, pea milk, Ripple Pea Kids Milk, which was developed by the company with nutritionists specifically as a replacement for cow milk for young children, almond milk, oat milk, and rice milk. Now, of course, there are many kinds of plant milks. You can pretty much take any kind of plant milk or nut and turn it into a milk. There's about a dozen common varieties that you can find right now, including things like banana milk. I have not personally tried them all, but the goal here is we want to look at just the nutrition. This is just the facts, because a lot of people, unfortunately, have the misunderstanding that cow milk is nutritious, wonderful, and in fact, as Dr. Campbell says, when he was growing up, it was considered nature's most perfect food. Well, in fact, it is nature's most perfect food for baby cows and no one else. And let's take a look at why. So let's compare these kinds of milks, looking specifically at calories, cholesterol, and USDA still recommends eating as few cholesterol as possible. Fat, saturated fat, which is the kind that raises LDL cholesterol. Trans fats, now remember that trans fats are as close to a nutritional devil as exists. This is a meta-analysis here from Harvard. You can see the more trans fats you eat, your mortality risk soars. Saturated fat goes up. Monounsaturated fat, the healthy fat, this is what's found often in various plant oils like olive oil, goes down slightly. Polyunsaturated fat, the stuff loaded in nuts, science-based magic of nuts. Why do nuts extend your life? Because the polyunsaturated fats lower cholesterol, lower mortality risk. Okay, so we're looking at the monounsaturated fat, the polyunsaturated, the healthy fats, and what percentage of the total fat is healthy, and the ratio of healthy to saturated fat, which is, remember, the unhealthy fat. The omegas, these are, of course, very important healthy fats that are essential to human nutrition. You have to get them from your diet. Protein, carbs, fiber. Remember, Dr. Greger, one of his favorite tests for if a food is processed or minimally processed and good for a whole food plant-based diet is the carbs to fiber ratio 5 or less. Sodium, which the government recommends less than 2,300 milligrams, but for many Americans, less than 1,500, those are specifically with heart disease or are at risk of heart disease. Potassium is anti-sodium, is protective. You want more than 4,700 milligrams. The ratio of potassium to sodium, World Health Organization recommends 1 or higher as healthy. The government recommends optimally 2 or higher. Calcium is between 1,000 and 1,300 milligrams per day, depending. Children, for example, need 1,300. Vitamin D helps you to absorb that calcium. Vitamin A, B12, and folate are very important, especially for pregnant women or women who might be pregnant. Iron, of course, this is the #1 deficiency in the world, nutritionally speaking. And overall vitamins, this is put together by Chronometer. So let's take a look at how they stack up. So not surprisingly, whole milk, the most amount of calories. Skim milk, 83, similar to soy milk, pea milk. You can see Ripple children's milk has slightly higher dense calories, but that is important because kids need more calories. Oat milk is very nutrient light. Almond milk, oat milk, 120, and rice milk is similar to skim and soy. Looking at cholesterol. Cholesterol only found in animal products, packed into whole milk, still a bit into cow milk, none in the plant milks. Overall fat, 8 grams of fat, which is towards the higher end compared to most plant milks. Skim still has some at 0.2. Saturated fat also 0.1. So 50% of the fat in skim milk is actually unhealthy, saturated. And looking at trans fats, remember, this is going to kill you. There is no safe amount. This has been essentially banned from all processed foods. It's only now found in animal products, including whole milk. In terms of the healthy fats, 2.5 grams here compared to 0.1 in skim, 3.8 for soy. The pea milk, this is from Ripple, so not available, except for the kids, packed with 8 grams of healthy fats. And that works out to what percentage of fat in milk is healthy. In whole milk, it's 32, 50% in skim, but 73 for soy, and 80 to 90% for the other kinds of plant milks. Looking at the ratio of healthy to unhealthy fats, 0.5 and 1. So skim is okay if you have to drink something. But soy milk, 5. Ripple Kids milk, 8. Almond milk, 11. Rice milk, 11. And oat milk, 7. Packed with healthy fats here. And omegas, you can see not much in cow's milk, but much more in the plant milks, especially oat milk, a little bit in almond milk, and rice milk. Now, looking at protein. Remember, Americans are protein obsessed. Basically, every plant food has protein. It's just a question of how much, and all proteins have all 9 essential amino acids. But you can see here, 8 grams for cow milk, 8 grams for skim milk, 9 grams for soy milk, 8 for pea milk. Now, notice, almonds, 1, oats, 2, and rice, basically 0. This is why I have bolded soy and pea milk. This is what you replace cow milk with if you're drinking cow milk each day as an important source of calcium or protein. What about carbs? So about 12 grams per cup. And by the way, this is all per cup compared to much lower for soy, pea, and almonds. Oat and rice have plenty. In terms of fiber, of course, animal products have no fiber. We have 1 gram per cup in soy, 0.5 for pea, 2 grams in Ripple pea milk for kids, and 0.6 and 1.8, none in rice. So the carb to fiber ratio for cow milk is infinite, so that's bad. Remember, 5 or less. 2.8, so that's good for soy. Even better for pea, very strong 1.5 for Ripple Kids. And basically oat milk and rice milk, this is also infinite. So basically not on a whole food diet, although of course you can have some in moderation. Via Dr. Greger's test, almond milk also a whole food. Now, turning to sodium, remember, this is something that actually humans, there are cultures, entire tribes, for example, in the Amazon, living on about 300 milligrams per day. It's estimated that we need, for the average person, about 500 milligrams per day to be healthy, and the average American is pounding down around 3,500. That is why our blood pressure is so high, and in fact, the global burden of disease study found that high sodium intake is the single leading cause of mortality when it comes to human diet. So you can see here per cup, about 100 milligrams, slightly less in soy, pea slightly higher for Ripple Pea Kids, slightly lower, almonds about 170, oats 103, and rice 110. But remember, potassium is the anti-sodium. It dilates the blood vessels. This is why, for example, in Asian cultures where they eat lots of sodium, but they eat lots of potassium, hypertension and things like heart disease and stroke are far, far less common. In fact, in some cultures, unheard of. So we can see potassium solid 300 to 400 for milk, but even higher for plant milks. Not so much here in almond milk, but let's take a look at the ratio. So 3 to 4 for cow milk, so that's solid. Even higher for soy, a very solid 3 for pea, 6 for Ripple Kids, packed with that potassium. You can see almond milk slightly below the healthy 1 the World Health Organization recommends. Oat milk is very good, and rice milk not very good. How about calcium, right? Everybody believes you need calcium from cow milk for healthy bones. Actually, the #1 source of calcium density in the world is leafy greens like kale. But let's take a look here. Around 300 milligrams per cup. Remember, that's about 25% of the recommended amount. We have soy, basically very similar amounts. Pea, packed with 450. Almond milk, the highest at nearly 500. And even oat and rice milk is still surprisingly high amounts of calcium, on par or greater than cow's milk. Vitamin D to absorb that calcium. So about 20% RDA in cow's milk. We have 10%, not that much in soy, but 40 to 33% in pea milk, and similar amounts in almond, oats, and rice milk. Okay, what about the rest of these vitamins? Vitamin A, you can see about 12 to 16% here for cow's milk. Similar amounts in soy, pea, and milk. Also for almonds, higher for oats, and roughly the same, slightly little less in rice. B12, so important for vegans to get that, 45 to 50%, because these are fortified foods. The same with plant milks, 40% soy, 100% in pea milk, 50% Ripple Kids milk. None in the almond milk, but the other kinds do have it. B and folate, B9. This is so important for preventing neural tube defects for women who are pregnant or might be pregnant or might become pregnant. This is why folate is fortified in so many things. 3% in cow's milk, 12% in soy milk, none in the pea milk. And looking at iron, 1%. There's very little iron in cow's milk, 16 times as much in soy milk, 34 times as much in pea milk, 25 for the kids' pea milk, 5 times as much in almond milk, 8 times as much as oat milk, and rice milk 6 times as much. And finally, overall vitamin contents, 12 to 14% per cup for the dairy milk here. So yes, with fortification, there are in fact lots of nutrients, but similar amounts in overall in the plant milk. So there you have it. Overall, the same or greater amounts of the important essential vitamins and minerals that we need. With soy and pea milk, you have the same amount of protein and far less dangerous fats such as trans fats and saturated fats, and far more healthy fats, including omega fats and those mono and polyunsaturated fats. So you can see, nutritionally speaking, the plant milks are superior to dairy milk, especially soy and pea milk, which are a wonderful, healthy replacement to cow milk if you want to drink milk. And of course, they are perfectly fine for people with lactose intolerance. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the medical reasons to avoid dairy milk, including the best meta-analyses from all over the world. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a Blue Zone vegan diet that's helped me to lose 90 pounds in 22 weeks. Science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery that can help anyone become the ultimate version of themselves if they give it a chance and are powered by plants.